right. So coming into all fours just to get started. Knees under hips, hands under shoulders, and we're just going to start nice and easy with a leg extension out to the back and then bringing that knee back under the hip and then changing direction. So switch sides, starting to engage the core, starting to engage the glutes, starting to engage the backs of the legs. And then once you are ready, if you want to extend opposite hand, opposite leg, keeping a nice neutral spine. We're warming up the core for slider work today. So as I said earlier, for those that are joining us on the replay, if you have dishcloths, socks, old cloths, actual sliders for hardwood, any of that kind of stuff will work. Or if you are on carpet and you want to use paper plates or some plastic camping plates, something you can put underneath your toe that will slide easily on the carpet. And then option to just not use anything at all, totally fine, also an option. We'll do one more each side, team. Keep breathing. Keep your neck nice and long and neutral. And then coming back into our all fours position, knees under hips, hands underneath the shoulders. I'm just going to arch her back up like a Halloween cat. And then lower down the belly, reaching your gaze up towards the sky, starting to get the spine nice and long, engaged, moving at your own pace from cat into a cow, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Something a little bit different today to engage the core a little bit more. You can swing your hips from side to side, starting to loosen that spine, that torso, feeling a little bit of movement. Beautiful. Come onto your knees, big shoulder rolls. You can stay on your knees. If you want to stand up for this, that's fine. I'm going to stay kneeling just because of the position of my camera. Reach up, back and around, and then bring it into the other direction, keeping the chest lifted, keeping the belly pulled in. Bring it across the body, opening up the chest, opening up the shoulder blades as well. And then if you want to take it into a little bit of a twist, again, you can stand up for this if you'd prefer. If you are on your knees, make sure you're twisting through that rib cage. And then we're going to bring one leg forward, tucking your hips forward. We kind of lean, and then we sit back into a hamstring stretch. Hips forward for a flex, hips back for a stretch. We're going to rotate through this a few more times on this side, and then we're just going to change over and do the other leg. Last one this side. Switch. So today's workout, we've got several moves. I can't remember how many there are. There might be 8, there might be 10. Can't remember. 45 seconds apiece, 15 seconds in between. Finish up that last stretch. Grab your sliders. I'm going to demonstrate briefly. I'll pause our timer. I've got these 2 chamois cloths. You can use socks laced over the edge of your shoe if that works better for you. If you have cloths, you're going to put them right underneath your toes and keep your heels off the edge of your slider pretty much the entire class. Now this is a position for our feet. We are going to put the sliders under our hands for some of our movements in a little bit. Or if you have socks, slide your socks onto your hands, and then you can wash them later. It's fine. We're going to come into a strong plank position. Now we're going to be in plank quite a bit today, so if at any point you need to put the knees down or you need to make fists with your wrists to support your upper body, please do so. But remember, keep that mat nearby so that you can make sure that you're protecting either your knees or your hands, depending on what's on the floor. You want to make sure that everything is comfortable and stable and able to sustain the entire workout. We've got about 23 minutes of work ahead of us, team, so let's go. We're going into our first movement, which is a cross climber. We're going to take each knee to the opposite elbow. So coming into a full plank, hands underneath the shoulders, legs nice and long. We're going to pull one knee in across the body to the opposite side and then bring it back out. Same thing, other side. Little rotation of that torso. Now you control the intensity of this. We slide that foot up and push back with resistance. bringing the knee in towards that chest. Modify, just reduce that range of motion a little bit. Take it into a bit more of a mountain climber, but still bringing that knee across the body. Feeling that spiral twist. Other option you can bring, just knee to chest on the knees. Hold, rest, take a deep breath. I'm going to bring my notes closer to me because I forgot already what my next move is. We're going to stay in that side plank position, team. We have one foot on a slider, 1 foot not. Top leg is on the slider. I'm in the wrong position. We're bringing that foot and sweeping it up in front of us. So my bottom leg can be on the floor. Top leg is on a slider or a sock. And I'm swinging it, getting a little hip mobility and supporting from my obliques, keeping this bottom hip lifted. If you want to lift that bottom leg, same movement.
That's halfway.
Top leg is on the slider. Top arm is lifted. And we're lifting this hip up like a string is pulling our top hip towards the sky. 10 seconds on the clock. Keep breathing. 3, 2, 1. Rest. Bring it down. Take a breath. We're going to come onto our back. So this is where you want to keep your mat nice and close. Heels are going to go onto our sliders. If you have socks, just put your feet flat on the floor. Come into a glute bridge. We walk 1 foot out, the other foot out. 1 foot in, other foot in. Out, out, in, in. If you're on sliders, heels are on the slider, toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. We're keeping our hips lifted the whole time. Modification, squeeze your bum, walk the feet out.
That's halfway.
Get the position to start. And then see if you can lift those hips. You can do this without a slider and still feel the benefits. Pushing into the shoulder blades, squeezing the glutes. Keep breathing. You've got 4 seconds left on the clock. 3, 2, 1, rest. Toes are going back on the sliders. We've got quick transitions, team. We're going into a plank. Forearms on the ground. Legs nice and long. We pull forward and back. Our toes are on the sliders, so we create that friction with the floor. We've got 45 seconds on that clock. Now your arms can be either parallel or you can layer them on top of one another. Drawing that core in, breathing. Other option, you can come up into a full plank, pull the body weight forward, push it back. Having your arms down on the ground is going to make it a little bit more challenging, but if you come up into that high plank, it alleviates some of that pressure on the shoulders, still puts a lot of core strength into the movement, having to shift your body back and forth. Can be just a small little movement. Rest. Knees come down. Take a breath. Hands are going to stay in the same position, but shake out those wrists whenever you need to. We're going to draw the knees into the chest, swing the legs around, and come back to center. Knees into chest, swing the legs around, come back to center. Now, if that's too much to do 2 at once, focus on one leg. Knee to chest, swing it around and back to center. Opposite. Bring it back to center. We want to shift our body weight forward as we come into a tight little ball and then push our feet away from us back into a strong plank. Knees in, swing it around. One at a time. Remember to keep that belly button pulled in. Keep those hips tucked up nice and tight. 3, 2, 1, rest. Knees come down, shake out those wrists. We've got crawl outs. So we're going to bring our mat back, keep it close by like I said earlier. Sliders are going to go underneath your hands. On the knees, we walk one arm, other arm, back to center. Tuck the hips, stay on the knees. Now if a knee plank is too much, come into a box. Same thing. Walk those hands out as far as you can and pull them back in. So we're pressing our palms into the floor. That's creating a little bit of resistance for us. If you're on the knees, see how far you can get those
That's
arms,
halfway.
maintaining a strong belly and a nice flat back. Shoulders are drawn away from the ears, and we're pushing those palms into the floor. Stay with it. Keep breathing.
3, 2, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
Nice work, team. Sliders are going to go under your toes. Heels are lifted. Hands are down. We come up into an upward dog. No, this is a downward dog. And then we pull
3,
the feet towards
2,
the hands. I need to move my
1.
mat out of the way.
Height.
Back to plank. Pull the feet in towards the hands. Now, modification. We could do one leg at a time. Just lifting the hip, focusing on one side, and then go to the other. Your choice. Push into those hands to squeeze the abs and lift the hips up. Nice strong plank. Lift. And then lower. It's a lot of control. Keep your legs close together, squeezing those thighs together, squeezing those knees, and pushing through the floor. Up
3,
and
2,
back down.
1.
Rest.
Rest.
Roll out those wrists. We've got one more move in the series, team. Slider wipers. So, hands under shoulders, legs nice and long behind you. You can put one knee down for support.
3,
Leg comes out
2,
long
1.
and back to center.
Slider wiper.
Otherwise, we're up here. Leg long, back to center. Other side. So make sure you've got some space. I'm going to walk a little closer to the camera so that I can get maximum leverage with my legs. Trying to get it up in line with my hip. Doesn't need to go that high. Maybe it only comes a little step out. That's fine.
That's
Maybe you're on the
halfway.
knees and you're just working one leg at a time. Remember to breathe. Option for those wrists. Make a fist at any point in the workout. Keep breathing, team. You've got 4 seconds. Big
3,
break coming at you.
2, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
Knees down. Shake out those wrists. You've got 30 seconds to breathe. You got this. Stay with it. You know the moves. You know where you can modify. I'll give you more options as we go through. We're going back to the top with our cross climbers. So we're going to keep our feet on our sliders for this set. Knee is going to draw across the body.
3, 2, 1.
That's our timer.
Cross
Here we
over
go.
knee tuck.
So across the body, back to center. Little rotation of the core. Twist and rotate. Pull it back. Remember to breathe. Option on those knees. Just work on one leg. Drawing it in. Extending it back. And then
That's
switch.
halfway.
Draw that in. Feel that contraction of the abs as you pull that knee in towards your chest. That's what we're working for. The stabilizing comes from the plank, and the core work comes as you're stabilizing and drawing that knee in towards the body. You've got 3 seconds, team. Give me
2,
one more rep.
1. Rest.
Rest. Take a deep breath. Roll out those wrists. We've got side planks coming up. So opposite side from where you started. Top leg gets the slider. Bottom leg
3,
is supporting you.
1.
We lift
Side plank
and
leg
lower
sweep.
back down. The sun is back. Option on the knee. Right here. I'm going to keep my knee lifted because I'm on hardwood and that hurts. Make sure you put your mat underneath you if you need to. You might find that one side is harder than the other. I know right now this side is much more of a challenge for
That's
me.
halfway.
You're more than halfway there. Keep that arm nice and long. Keep that bottom hip lifted. And keep breathing. You've got less than 10 seconds. Can we push and draw that hip up just a little more, like there's a
3,
big string
2,
pulling you up?
1.
Rest.
Rest.
Come down. Shake it out. Woo! Hamstring walkouts are next. Option to use the sliders or not. I'm not sure if you're seeing this glare
3,
that's across the
2,
screen. Sorry if you
1.
are. Heels on the
Hamstring
sliders,
walkouts.
toes up into the air, team. Walk it out one at a time. Nice. I like the arty music video look Dave said. It's like a filter, a no filter filter. Keep the glutes squeezed as you walk out one leg at a time, team. Remember, also an option.
That's halfway.
Walk, walk, in, with or without the sliders. The sliders are going to give you that extra stability balance. And we're squeezing and working the backs of the legs here. Those hamstrings and calves are going to be on fire. Push through those heels.
3, 2,
Hold,
1.
rest.
Rest.
Hug the knees to your chest, slowly lower. Come up. Saws are next. Toes on your sliders. Forearms on the floor. Nice long plank
2,
position.
1.
Drawing forward
4.
and back. Option coming into a high plank. Drawing forward and back. Dave's getting a phone call halfway through class. Take a deep breath. Keep breathing. Draw those shoulders away. See if you can shift your weight forward of the hands and then slowly ease your way back. Bring it forward. Slowly ease back. Abs nice and tight. You've got 15 seconds on the clock. Keep those feet together. Keep those thighs squeezing together. Back is flat. Remember, you can always just drop to the
3,
knees
2,
and shift your body
1.
weight forward and back.
Rest.
Hold, rest. Frogs are next, team. Toes on the sliders. Knees draw into chest and circle around behind
3,
us.
2.
Let's
1.
go. Remember,
Frogs.
option to make the wrist or the fist. Keep your hips low. Now we're going to have a tendency to want to draw those hips up high in the air. Keep them down towards the ground. Nice long line from the spine. Scooping around to the back. Beautiful. Just going to tilt this slightly to try to get a better
That's halfway.
light. There we go. You're more than halfway there. Draw those knees in nice and tight, and then scoop those legs long behind you. Knees in. Bring it around.
3, 2, 1. Rest.
Knees down to rest. Shake it out. Woo! Slider crawl outs. So on the knees, hands on the sliders.
3, 2, 1.
We walk out one arm at a
Slider crawl
time.
outs.
Out, out, in. Keep the hips tucked underneath you. Keep your glutes engaged and squeezing together nice and tight. Out, out, in. Pushing through the palms on the floor.
That's halfway.
Now if your hands are in socks, see if you can push those palms into the floor a little bit more. You've got 15 seconds left, team. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Pull the belly in nice and tight. Squeezing nice and tight into you.
3, 2, 1.
Rest.
Rest.
Quick transition. Move your mat out of the way. Pikes are next. Toes on the sliders. Heels in the air. Hands under shoulders. Coming into a full plank position. Setting up nice and
3,
strong.
2.
We lift the hips. And we lower back down into our plank. We lift, drawing our hips up like there's a big string attached, and then slowly slide back out. Remember the option, you can always just work on a down dog into a plank, down dog into a plank. Lift those hips like there's a string pulling you into the air, and then slowly and controlled lower back down for that full plank. You've got 15 seconds, team. Keep it strong. Keep it focused. 10 seconds on that clock. We got this together. We have one move after
3,
this to finish us
2,
off. One
1.
more to go.
Rest.
Rest. Nice work. Shake out those wrists. Wipers are next. Make sure you have some space on either side of you. Make fists with your hands if you need to support
3,
your upper body,
2,
to support those
1.
wrists in this last
Slider
section.
wipers.
45 seconds, team. Here we go. Take it wide. as wide as you can with that leg. Remember, option on the knees, one leg at a time. Squeezing those glutes, drawing your shoulders back, and breathing. Keep the hips squared off with the floor. Pushing through those palms. You got this. 10 seconds on that clock. 10 seconds to go. 4, 3, 2, 1 more rep. Rest. Knees down. Sit the hips back into a child's pose. Beautiful work. Make sure you've got your mat to protect those knees. Come into a child's pose. Reach those fingertips forward. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Breathe. Let your hips hang heavy. Let your chest hang heavy to the floor. You smashed it. Total core workout. Lots of upper body strength as well as core strength. Come into all fours. We're going to take our right arm, thread it under the left arm. Reach your left fingertips forward into a child's pose. Sit the hips back and just let that right shoulder fall down towards the ground, threading underneath the left arm. Breathe. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, left arm under the right. And sit the hips back again into your child's pose, threading your left arm under your right arm. Nice. Bring it back to center again. Come into all fours. One leg comes forward, other leg goes back into that 90-90 position. Tucking your hips, lifting the chest. And then if you want, you can lift one arm up. And if you want a little extra twist, bring that arm outside that front knee. Little rotation through that core. Or you can just stay center. We're going to switch sides. Opposite knee forward, opposite knee back. Lift the arm if that feels good for you. Feel that little stretch through the front of the hip flexor. And then again, taking that hand outside the knee if that feels good. Letting the opposite arm just hang out or wrap around the back of the body. Come back to center, team, both knees on the ground. Open up the chest. Roll those wrists out. Lots of work in those wrists. So make sure the arms are nice and long. It looks like my elbows are hanging. I promise they're straight. It's just my sweatshirt. Looks like a little piece of seaweed or something. Do the wave. Give them each a little press. Push out those forearms. Give them a stretch. We don't give enough attention to our wrists. Those tiny little joints that help support us. Little gentle presses, nothing too strenuous, just front and back. Nice. Take one leg out to the side. Lift and bend. You can place your hand on your hip, on your leg, or just let it hang. And then other side, big stretch up and over. We're going to switch sides. Leg extends nice and long out to the side. Knee is under hip on this side. And then big side bend over towards your leg. Exhale, opposite side. Nice. Come back to center. Have a seat on the ground. Crisscross applesauce. Take a big inhale up to the sky.
3, 2.
Exhale down.
1. Your timer is complete.
Last one. Inhale all the good stuff. Exhale all the bad stuff. Absolutely smashed it. Well done, team. Well done. Smashed your core. Happy Sunday.